Hey guys, so after many requests of seeing more vlogs and seeing kind of what behind the scenes in my life and all the stuff that I'm doing, especially around the engine build and the new 2J conversion that I'm putting in Larry the Drift Car, I thought I'd give you a bit of an episode. So this is going to be the first episode for a series of vlogs that I'm going to be doing, and this is going to be kind of a glimpse into my life of things that I'm doing today. For example, we've got to go, the postman just came, so I'm going to be showing you some really cool 2JZ parts that I'm really excited about. We're going to go pick up my turbo. We're going to go to Motorsport Connections in Seven Hills and pick up a bunch of different fittings and hoses and stuff for the conversion. And hopefully when I get home, the clutch and bell housing and manifold will be here. But given that it's raining and Australia Post is quite slow, I'm doubting it highly. So let's kind of jump in. Let's have a look at what the postman's brought me all of these really cool things. So first of all, we've got 2JZ single spring Brian Cower springs and titanium retainers. And this is these aren't going to be put in the car straight in the engine straight away, but these are really important from what I've been talking to other drifters that are running a 2JZ engine, because they stop valve float. So what valve float is when you're in high RPM and the valves stay open and the engine starts to bog down a little bit. I don't know the specifics of it, so I just know that when it's not good, and what it causes is the valves to stay open. And then the whole reason behind the titanium retainers is because the retainers are the little round circle thing that sits on top of the spring that holds it down, and they're quite prone, I think they're cast or aluminium or something. They're prone to smash under high RPM as well. So that's the first thing, which is really exciting. Then we've got a bunch of stuff from Golby's Parts. They're up in Queensland. They ship Australia wide and worldwide. We've got some ARP flywheel bolts, and for those of you who don't know what I'm actually doing, part of this conversion has been wasn't expecting to blow the motor and have another car that I'm building at the moment, and this is what the 2JZ engine was for. So I'm really squeezing as much money as possible to use old parts. So for instance, we're using the RB25 gearbox, which has lasted 3 years, 45 plus track days, and 300-400 odd tires, and it's outlasted the engine and the clutch. So I blew the clutch before I blew the box, and then I blew the engine recently, as you guys know. So I'm going to be using my RB26 clutch. We just changed the flywheel and I had it machined so that it'll fit. So that's why I need new what are they called? New flywheel studs. I was mentally blocked with this sec. So yeah, that's one thing I'm doing. I'm also going to be I've got the bell housing kind of cut and shut, and that saves me having to change tail shaft. It saves me having to change a bunch of stuff. So I've probably saved probably $4 or $5 grand plus a bunch of time to use that again. So that's the second thing. Then another thing that's really prone for braking is on a 2JZ is the tensioner. So this is a brand new tensioner, again from Golby's. So I'll be pulling the actual wheel off that one and putting it onto a billet tensioner. So this one's made of billet steel or billet aluminium, so it's all one piece, it's not cast. This is what the other ones are. And these are prone, well, these ones are prone to snapping under high RPM as well. So this is just another little insurance part, something that it's quite cheap, and I think it was like 159 bucks or something to get that. And if I put that on now, it's just going to save me later on. Another one that is very common to do is to get a welded crank pulley, but in the 2JZ they normally weld around here. But in the 2JZ VVTi, you don't actually need to weld them, because they're all one piece. They don't actually come apart. So I'll have to send that one back and get some money back from that one. But yeah, very exciting stuff. I've got the cam covers ready to go off to powder coating in a couple of days. So I've just had a dash 10 fitting put onto them, and they need a good clean. Look at that. That's obviously the exhaust side. It's pretty disgusting. So yeah, everything's coming along quite nicely. Let's see if I can put this back without hitting too many things. Everything's coming along quite nicely. There's also a bunch of specialist tools that I need to buy, so I'll have to make a run to Bunnings. So yeah, we're gonna go to Bunnings. I gotta pick up some metal because we're fabricating some stuff this afternoon. Well, not really this afternoon, but soon. We're gonna go to Motorsport Connections, and I gotta pick my turbo up. Okay, so now we're at the shop. There's the old RB. Larry's on the hoist with his whole guts out. And I've put the plenum on. This I'm really interested to see how this plenum goes. It was only $1,000 with a fuel rail, which normally you can pay like $300 for a brand new fuel rail. I'm pretty sure the one on that engine, yeah, was $300, that fuel rail. All the injectors are in, 2000cc Bosch injectors. I gotta get some different fittings for this because yeah, I think that's a -6 fuel line, and I'm running -8. You can probably see it just there. But yeah, the super dampener's on. I just need to head over to Bunnings and get some tools to I think that's a 3/8 that I need. And then that's a special Allen key, you can probably see it, yeah. So, yeah, this is all coming together. Cam covers need to be powder coated, same color as that, nice black color. And engine mounts are in, and that's the 25 gearbox just there, and a bunch of other stuff. And yeah, so the next thing to do is to go and pick the turbo up. And from there, we'll head over to Motorsport Connections. Almost forgot, there's a bunch of goodies that I already have. Full 2JZ gasket set, which will be going in to the motor. Then I've got some Yaris coil packs. Here's an adjustable cam gear. Yaris coil packs, because they're really reliable and they don't require a thingy to bolt. Gates timing belt, and here's the coil packs. I'll pull one out so you can have a look. They're not that different to they're not that different looking, I should say, to the normal coil packs. I just need this adapter plate in the top of the motor for them to work. So yeah, that's pretty much it from new parts. I've also got some ARP head studs. My shop's super messy, there's just shit everywhere. I nearly just slipped over. I've got some ARP head studs. That looks like another, oh, that one wasn't a timing belt, this is a timing belt. That's a Gates timing belt. Oil pump, water pump, and some washers, and another tensioner, and just random parts and stuff. So definitely getting it done. Getting it done, and it won't be long before the 2J is in lab. Okay, so I just went and picked the turbo up from GCG. Big shout out to Alex. Thank you so much for all the machining you did and for hooking me up. I put a picture of his car, his latest crazy build for Power Cruise on the screen right now. That little green R32 with the massive muddies on it. He had heaps of fun on it. You can doodle him or look on Facebook and you'll see heaps of videos about it. So yeah, thanks again, Alex. Now, he's gone and machined my old housing, which is this one. So that's a .AR housing, T4 twin scroll there. This is my old turbo, which is a bit fucked. Precision 6266. Let me see if I can show you the front. So you can see all the chips in the turbine, and it doesn't spin that freely. Like, it should spin heaps more freely than that. So yeah, things fucked, unfortunately, but that's drifting. That's how it works. So Alex has machined my rear housing so it will fit on the new turbo, and then this is the new turbo right here. Let me see if I can get this out. So Garrett GTW 80. What is it? GTW. Yeah, GTW 88. 3884. So it's quite big. It's very similar sized. You can see kind of side by side the rear housing, the rear turbine's very similar sized. The new one is slightly bigger, but the technology that Garrett have created with these new GTW range is second to none, and it's going to outspool this thing. Well, one, because the displacement is completely changed from a 2.6 litre to a 3 litre, but also because of the technology of the ball bearing. So at the moment, I have a .70 rear housing on it. I'm planning to get them both tuned. So I'll get it tuned with this housing and see what it makes, see when boost comes on, and if it comes on too late, actually I should say I'll get it tuned with this housing first, the .84. And then if it comes on too late, or it's too laggy, I'll just have it changed over to the smaller housing. And I might even just keep the two different tunes so I can run big tracks versus little tracks. So this new range is really cool. Again, big thanks to GCG. They ship turbos internationally. There's a #1 Formula D driver in Japan that runs a GCG machine turbo, which is Andy Gray. And there's a number of guys in the US that are running them as well. From memory, I think Rob Dahm no, he's directly from Garrett, but yeah, there's they do some amazing stuff, so look them up. And again, thank you, Alex, for the hookup. So that's about it for the turbo. The next thing for us to do is to go and get some tools from Bunnings, because that's just up the road, and then we will go to Motorsport Connections and then go and get some metal to do some fabrication. Getting her done. Okay, so just left Bunnings and got the parts we needed. They need to be 3/8 torque sets so that we can actually stick them on the torque wrench. And where are we? We got the converter. I have like almost all the tools I need, but occasionally you have to buy like a single tool. So I didn't think you guys really wanted to watch me walk around Bunnings, so I just kind of shot that and then decided against posting it. So now we're off to Motorsport Connections. We're going to take the turbos in and show them what we have and see what they can create with that. One of the best things about Motorsport Connections is someone like me who really doesn't know a lot of stuff about cars can go in there and say, hey, I've got this turbo and this engine in this car and I need to do this kind of plumbing, or I need this kind of part, and what else will I need with it? And they just basically figure it all out. And sometimes Shane even draws me a diagram because I'm that basic, and makes it super easy for someone who's a complete newbie when it comes to automotive stuff to put stuff together. So yeah, I really can't recommend them higher than I already do. And yeah, you'll see, we'll be there in a couple of minutes. So now what going to Motorsport Connections, get all the fittings we need and all the hose. I'm about to get run over by Malou, and I'm ready to get Shane to talk about the importance of using braided lines when dealing with race cars, because yeah, I'll just have him talk about it. G'day mate, how are you? Hey Shane.
Hey Mitch, how you doing, man?
Really good. So we've got a turbo that's dead.
Time to do some fittings.
Time to do some fittings. Why is it important to have braided hosing and that sort of thing? Give us a kind of...
To ensure reliability in your car and make sure that everything's going to work when it's time for racing, whether it be drifting, circuit racing, or even boat racing. So,
because just like I did the other day, melted through a power steering line and power steering fluid went on the car and it caught fire. Yep. So it kind of stops that from happening and keeps your temps down when they're in hot areas. So what are we going to do here? We've got some old fittings which I think are pretty useless. I brought them anyway. Yep. But one of the things I was telling my viewers that I really like about coming to Motorsport Connections is you guys, from start to finish, I'll bring the components and you say, here's everything we need, and you sometimes even draw me a diagram because I'm that basic. So
pretty much.
What we'll do is we'll pause the video and get all the fittings and come back to it.
Awesome.
Okay, so after about 15 minutes of running around, looking through hundreds of fittings, not really, it only took me about 5. We've got all the fittings we need for the new turbo. Shane's going to talk to you a little bit about what I had on the old turbo, which was actually wrong for this application. And so why is that? What did I do wrong there?
Not necessarily wrong, but the rubber braided hose still has its limitations with temperature. We're going to go for the Teflon braided hose, which is much higher with temperature capabilities. It's got a Teflon line, so no rubber inside there that can get hot and melt and break and crack off, causing oil to go all over your manifold. We're going to do the same for the water hose as well. Teflon braided hose, same thing, it's going pretty close to the runners on the turbo. And
how hot does it get on the turbo?
Oh, you can see exhaust temperatures 800 to 1,000 degrees around there, so you've got to have a good hose and fitting that's going to be right for the application.
Definitely.
So,
and what have you seen happen with some of the oil feeds that you were saying before from the rubber hoses?
Because it's sitting right there in the high temperature area, you can basically have an issue where it just will break straight off there. The rubber has its limitations, not necessarily wrong, but we're going to go better.
Yeah.
Where there's always going to be better options to go out there.
Absolutely, and we had a Dash 8 drain before, and one of the things I was saying before is I've had a friend who's had probably 3 turbos blow because the turbo couldn't drain quick enough. So we've upgraded from a Dash 8 to a Dash 10 oil drain, and it's going straight into the sump using that fancy little thing there that I don't know what it's called.
An oil drain plate for the 2J, so it basically converts the twin oil drains into one using an AN10 fitting.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for everything you do, Shane. You definitely make it easier. I would not be able to order all of that stuff from the catalogue. So if you are wanting to get any kind of fittings or plumbing stuff, or really anything, I'm pretty sure you guys are one of the resellers for Turbo Smart and for a lot of the big automotive brands.
GI, Cetrab, Motorsport Plumbing, it's our main game, and there's a lot of other things we do, so come on down.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And I always pick up Brad Penn from here. That's the only oil I run in my cars, whether it be the 2J or the RB. So head on down to Motorsport Connections and always see a friendly face, and Shane will always be here to help. What's that? What's that? And I'm not talking about this big pile of fluff right next to it. That's the clutch. It's just come back from Melbourne. It's been machined. New flywheel to suit the 2J rather than the RB. I'll be unpacking it and fitting it to the engine. Well, I can't actually fit it because I'm still waiting on the bell housing. The bell housing and the manifold are the last 2 things I need to come. And then off to the powder coating for the manifold and the turbo and a couple of other things. And then from there, we can start actually assembling everything. I'm so excited. Yay! Clutch! Yay! Yay! arrived at Performance Metals, where we're going to pick up some chromoly for some parts that have been fabricated later this week. So I'll show you in just a second. Okay, so I just picked up the metal that the chromoly that we're going to be creating some cool parts out of, crash bars and that sort of thing. You can see it's kind of in the back of the H6. The H6 is actually still open because I couldn't fit it in. There's like I think 12 meters of chromoly tubing that we've got. So yeah, heading back to the shop, and yeah, that's about it for the day. Heading back to the shop and putting some more motor stuff together. Okay, so just got back to the shop and drop all the turbo and all the new fittings and everything that we bought off, and now it's just a waiting game. The next thing that I'm waiting on is the clutch and the gearbox, bell housing, and the manifold. And as soon as I have that, that's when the fun really begins. I can put the manifold and turbo on. I can actually start to plumb all of the turbo, the water, and the oil line, and yeah, we can actually get closer to putting the motor in the car. So I'm super excited. I've got it's Thursday now. I reckon it'll be here probably tomorrow or Monday. All of that stuff is coming up from Melbourne, and then from there I'll do some slow what's it called, time-lapse videos of putting all of that stuff on the motor, and we just try to get some stuff powder coated, which is probably going to take another week. And then from there it's yeah, get the new wiring harness, which has all been custom made by Chad from Motorsport Wiring, and that's pretty much it. Then we start her up and get it tuned. So yeah, definitely moving along a lot slower than I'd like, as always, especially when dealing with Australia Post and the delays that we constantly experience here in Australia. So yeah, I've really enjoyed making this video, and this is the first episode of kind of me doing vlogs and giving you insights into my life and what I'm doing. So yeah, smash the comments and smash the like button if you've liked this. If you have any specific questions, or if you want me to post any links to anything that I've talked about, please make sure you comment and let me know. And yeah, if you have any other specifics you want to see in future videos, please also post that below, and I'll make sure to include that. Thanks guys, I'll see you soon.